What's going on, y'all? It's JD Pickell with On 3. Today on the Hard Count, I'm going to give you my expectations for the Oklahoma Sooners in 2022. Welcome into the Hard Count, the people show for every single thing that you know and that you love about college football. It happens here on a daily basis. Nick Brake does the heavy lifting. You can help drive the show by subscribing to the channel. The Oklahoma Sooners have had a lot of things changing over the past couple of months within that program. Guys jumping in the portal, guys jumping out of the portal. Your head coach is gone to LA. Now you got a new head coach from Clemson, South Carolina, who is Sooner born, Sooner bred. When he dies, he'll be Sooner dead. Then you got Jeff Lebby, who enters the fray from Ole Miss, is now the new OC. Also, he goes and gets his quarterback, just like Publix, like we talk about, goes down the aisle, looks around, says, Dillon Gabriel, actually, I know you're going to transfer to UCLA. You're going to now transfer to Oklahoma with me. You cool with that? Of course you are. Let's roll. So that's where Oklahoma is today. A lot of things that have been moving and mixing and matching, but today, dust has settled. They're about to get camp on and popping, and they're going to play football here in the very near future and put storylines to the side. So for Oklahoma, what can you expect from this program? Well, I'm going to give you my expectations for 2022, and at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you the ultimately, how do we say this? At the end of the season, where I think they'll be sitting. Okay, you with me? Let's rock and roll. First and foremost, from Oklahoma, you can expect a physical brand of football. Now, you might say that's too overarching. It's a tackle sport. It's physical contact sport. Obviously, they're going to be physical. Well, yes, but if you look at what they were like a season ago, this is not a knock on Lincoln Riley, but his brand of football, the kind of brand of football he coaches, is a tad more finesse than I would say what Brent Venables is bringing in. Okay, I mean, talk about what Jeff Lebby's calling on offense, just Brent Venables having a blue-collar mentality in general. They're going to be more physical. If you look into the more finer points of this, Jeff Lebby had his offense going about 45 times on the ground. Anytime you're going to run the ball 45 times at your opponent, that is an attitude saying, we don't care what you're lining up in. We don't care how many you got in the box. We're running an inside zone. We're running power. You try and stop it. Even if you're getting 2.5 to 3 yards a carry, you're still making those linebackers continue to fill, continue to get up there and run support, stick their nose in there. After a while, I don't care how tough you are, that wears on a team. And so at that point, your linemen are tired. Their linebackers are tired. It's just, hey, we're going to go head up here for the next couple of quarters. You decide if you want to say uncle or not. Having that mentality as an offense to where you're top 5 in the country in terms of times you're running the football, that's a big deal. Like I said, that's an attitude. That's all about this right here. Color your collar. Jeff Lebby's going to make sure they have a blue-collar mentality on offense when it comes to running the football. Like I mentioned, Brent Venables on defense, if you know anything about the guy, you know he's hardcore at the very least. Like, you have somebody continually trying to pull him off the field at Clemson. You had your own get-back coach just for him, which, one, fires me up. Two, tells you about his mentality, tells you about the way that he's going to coach his defense. And change of script for him, he's coaching the whole team. I would expect we see his thumbprint on the defense more than anything, but that should tell you how he's going to coach this team. On defense, they're going to have a hard hat, lunch pail kind of mentality. They're going to get after the quarterback. They're going to stunt. They're going to bring blitzers from the second and third level. They're going to wear you out by knocking you in the mouth, play in and play out. Can take that to the bank. Physical brand of football for Oklahoma in 2022. Moving forward, Dillon Gabriel will thrive in 2022 in this offense. How do I know that? Because history is a great teacher, and Jeff Lebby and Dillon Gabriel have worked together before. When they were together last time, it was at UCF. Dillon Gabriel was a freshman. Jeff Lebby said, hey, here's the keys to the offense. Go crazy. Dillon Gabriel, in fact, did go crazy and was top 10 in the country in terms of yards. Okay, so he's done this before. He's driven this car before. Car goes pretty fast, especially when Dillon Gabriel is behind the wheel. In addition to that, anytime you have a new coordinator and a new coach and a new quarterback all in the same place, to have your coordinator and your quarterback spot synced up, that is half the battle, if you ask me. Because the majority of spring, the majority of camp is, okay, hey, quarterback, What do you like to throw? What do you feel comfortable with? What route concepts are you feeling like are your most strong in your skill set? Jeff Lebby already knows that with Dillon Gabriel. They're already on the same page. The nucleus of this offense is already where it needs to be. Now it's a matter of Dillon Gabriel and Jeff Lebby getting everybody else synced up. And they got a lot of playmakers. Marvin Mims is a proven commodity. Theo Weiss Jr. is set for a big-time year. A lot of people are going to know his name by October, I would say maybe even middle of September. There's a lot of firepower on this offense. Now, guys still have to step up, but there's a lot of weapons for Dillon Gabriel to use. And the fact that he already knows his way around the offense is paramount. In addition to that, there's some things within this conference that I think are going to lend itself to a quicker start for Dillon Gabriel and this team. Because if you look around the conference, a lot of transitions. Iowa State, it was well publicized a year ago. They had like 20 of 22 starters coming back or something close to that. Texas, second year under Sark, new quarterback. They did an overhaul from the transfer portal. Baylor, defending champs. They're coming back swinging. Dave Aranda is a magician, but they replace a lot of production. They lost a lot on defense, a lot in terms of what they're doing at the running back spot, new quarterback. You see where I'm going with this? There's a lot of new in the Big 12. In some way, shape, or form, they're asking for somebody to reclaim that throne. And with what Dillon Gabriel's bringing and what Jeff Lebby's bringing, the fact they're already synced up, that's going to bode well for the Sooners and ultimately play well to where the conference is at right now. Finally, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm going to tell you where I think they sit at the end of the year. And here's my expectation for Oklahoma. I'm not going to go out here and, well, actually, I did go out here and tell you that I think they're going to make the college football playoff. But my expectation is that I think Oklahoma, by Bedlam, which is November 19th, second to last game of the season, will be in position to play for a Big 12 title. Some of you might say, well, that is our expectation too. That's the bare minimum here at Oklahoma. I understand that. But to be able to still be within striking distance of your conference championship in the second to last game of the season means all the other games before that went pretty well for you. And they still have to go to Nebraska. They get Baylor at home. It is not going to be a walk in the park, but it's manageable. And so for you to be able to win a lot of those games that are going to potentially slip you up and to be, like I said, within striking distance of your conference title by your key rivalry game, that's a really big deal. I think Bedlam's going to once again determine who ends up playing in that Big 12 title game. I have my own thoughts on Oklahoma State, another video for another time. But that's really good news for Oklahoma if they're in that game and it means something. It always means something on a sentimental and emotional level, but for the national and in-conference picture, that's very good news, and that's a big deal. To recap this whole deal, the Sooners are going to play rock'em, sock'em, knock you around kind of football. They're still going to throw the ball. Dillon Gabriel and Jeff Lebby are synced up. They're going to be really dynamic on offense, in my opinion, but they're going to play a physical brand. In that same token, the physical brand is going to benefit Dillon Gabriel because it's going to make for an easier picture, a lot of explosive plays, and the fact that Jeff Lebby and Dillon Gabriel have already worked together, Dillon Gabriel is going to thrive in this offense, folks. I have very, very high expectations for him, as do some other national media members. Finally, Oklahoma, when it comes down to November 19th, they got a date with the Oklahoma State Cowboys. That game is going to hold a lot of weight for Oklahoma's Big 12 title chances. It's going to be a good year in Norman, needless to say. That's it for us here on The Hard Count. We appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. We want you in on this party. This is special because of the community that we've been able to cultivate in a short time here. Come jump in. The water's fine. We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.